All right. Here we go, here we go, here we go. You're here in the chat. Hey, Queen. Alright, I think we're good to go. Do I sound okay? Audio all good? Once I got the thumbs up from you, we will get going. Where's my koozie? I need it for my Dr. Pepper. There we go. Okay. Yes! Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. And without further ado... Okay, you have fun in chat. Hey everybody, it's Tristan T, and welcome to part 2 of Overwatch 2. Last time, we got our very first look at the game, and met our first 3 characters, a soldier, a scientist, and their savior. This time, we have quite a lot to look forward to, but first, before we begin, I want to make a couple of announcements. For starters, this is going to be the final Overwatch video for some time. I know we just started the Let's Play, and I'm having a great time with it. I loved I loved recording episode 1, and I am very much looking forward to what this series has to offer, but we are putting it on the back pedal because for the next couple of streams and videos, I am going to be committing to wrapping up Season 1 of Forza Horizon 4. So expect us to return to the streets of Britain very soon. It's been a couple of weeks now since I've recorded Forza, so it'll be a little bit of getting used to it again. I put it on the back burner because we started Undertale, and since it's such a short game compared to these, I wanted to finish it. And then I got inspiration to start Overwatch, so we gotta, go back to that. No, it wasn't Ireland. It's, well, kind of. It's like the Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland area all, meshed together into one. It's like the greater, like United Kingdom. But, the game itself refers to itself as Great Britain, even though a lot of the locations are in Scotland. But anyways, thank you for fact-checking me, though. I should have said that. Make sure I got that right. But, yeah. So, Forza's coming back a little bit more. We've got about 3 or 4 episodes of it left before we put it on pause for Season 2. And along with that, one more smaller announcement. The first episode of Overwatch 1 was uploaded to the S4L channel earlier today, so it's available to rewatch in its entirety whenever you'd like. This one, Overwatch 2 Part 2, will be uploaded tomorrow as well to go with it. Now, let's get in to the game. And I want you to take a good look around as we load into Overwatch 2, because this is going to be all new. Today is the final day of Season 10 of Overwatch 2. To quickly explain the seasons mechanic, as a little bit of a topic of the day, I told you about the Battle Pass yesterday, and what it adds to the game. Every season of Overwatch 2, which lasts approximately 2.5 months, adds a brand new Battle Pass, something special and brand new, such as a new map, which we're getting in this upcoming season, or every other season, every second season, so in seasons 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12, we get a new character. This season, we got Venture, the drill girl, who I touched on a little bit in the last episode. This is the final day of Season 10, which is pretty crazy to think about, not gonna lie. It releases tomorrow, and it will be ready to play then. Lots of great new stuff is coming, so I know that I said that I was going to put Overwatch on pause for Forza, but I'll definitely make at least one video talking about everything Season 11 has to bring. In terms of new stuff, we're not getting a new character to the roster, but we are getting a brand new push map, all kinds of new game modes, lots of new character changes, a new mythic skin for our favorite cowgirl, Ashe, the very first mythic weapon for your least favorite, the Hammerman himself, Reinhardt, and some other cool stuff that we'll touch on, including a Transformers collaboration, and the first official event we'll take a look at in the Let's Play, Summer Games, which is basically the Overwatch Olympics. I know. I'm upset, honestly, that Reinhardt's getting the first mythic weapon, too, because I don't like playing him that much, but he's a classic character, I guess. Now, with all that being said, today we've got only 2 characters to look at compared to the 3 from last time. We looked at Winston, Soldier 76, and Mercy, but this time the supports are going to get a break. There's only 10 supports in the game right now, with a brand new one coming in Season 12, which is not this season releasing tomorrow, but the one after that. So I want to give support a break so we have enough to go over in a later time. In this episode, we'll be going over 1 tank and 1 damage character. And you already know a little bit about both of them because we've seen a lot of them. So without further ado, let's head to the practice range and talk about our characters of the day. You know, I'd be lying if somewhere kind of good. I've spent all this time mastering the ins and outs of every character. It's about time that I, actually teach somebody and coach somebody on how it works. Today, as I mentioned, we're taking a look at 1 tank and 1 damage character, and we'll start with the easy one first. You said you were scared of his face, and I can't blame you, but I'm not going to say it because he might blow me up. We're taking a look at Junkrat. Quite the personality this Australian has. He got a bit of a freshen up from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. I like his Overwatch 2 look much more. It's a lot cooler. Okay, I'm already sick of him laughing at me, but regardless.
Plenty of bombs to go around.
Junkrat is the second DPS character we're going to take a look at. He has 250 health, which is the standard health number for most characters in Overwatch 2. It's shared across the board for most people. No, you have never played Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1 stopped getting updated in 2019, I believe. Overwatch 2 has been from like pre-COVID and since. So not everybody's played it for sure. But this is our buddy Junkrat. He's quite the energetic fella. And has a lot to his kit. Oh, I forgot when you wave to the bots, they say hello back. He is the standard HP, as I mentioned, and that's good because you're going to be doing a lot of exploding with this guy. His primary fire is the frag grenade launcher.
Overwatch, you'll never take me alive.
He shoots basic grenades that deal a pretty sizable amount of damage whenever colliding with an opponent. 2-tapping most characters. However, whenever they hit a target, they instantly explode. But if you shoot them on the ground and let them roll, they don't explode until they hit a target. So you can get pretty creative with how you bounce around the Junkrat grenades. One of the most fun parts of his kit, in my opinion. If you don't hit a target, the grenade will simply roll and then deal splash damage to people nearby. There's only 5 grenades in one magazine, though, and they shoot at a pretty steady pace. So he's got a slow fire for high damage. When shooting your grenades, you don't have to worry about hurting yourself. So you can play very up close and personal with Junkrat, not having to worry at all about the splash damage that your grenades deal. Which is actually pretty nice. For Junkrat's abilities, oh actually quickly, as I showed off already, Junkrat's mines and grenades bounce off of objects, so you can get very creative, bouncing them off walls to hit a target, like so, bouncing them off the floor, like I did earlier. There's lots of ways to get crafty with Junkrat's style. Or, if you're far away and can't really reach the enemy, you can just spam them in a straight line and hope you get lucky and hit an explosive. That's how most people play Junkrat. For his 2 abilities, they're not really super complex either. With a push of left bumper for his first ability, you throw a mine. Not just any mine, though. The concussion mine. You push LB to throw, and then you push LT to detonate, and it sends enemies flying, also dealing a pretty big chunk of damage. Junkrat has 2 of these as well. There they go. Now, just to show you, direct impact with both mines will not normally kill a 250 HP target. So you do have to hit at least 1 standard shot. You can't just double tap with the mines. However, there are many ways to play with the mines. When you throw them, you can let them sit and then detonate them like a trap. Or, you can even detonate them the instant you throw them, kinda working as a big bomb. This, put together with his standard fire, can output insane damage, as you can see, along with some crazy knockback, sending enemies flying. Speaking of sending things flying, another great perk to Junkrat's mines is that he can use them to launch himself. This is a very useful tool and the most common way to use concussion mines because they let you do things like easily reaching high ground to rain down on a target from above, or get up in someone's face and have a quick escape. There's lots of different ways to coordinate and use Junkrat's kit, which makes him such a unique character when it comes to Overwatch. His second ability is the Steel Bear Trap. When an enemy steps into the Steel Bear Trap, they are completely stuck in place and can't go anywhere. They can still shoot and use all abilities except for movement abilities. You'll notice as well, the trap actually does a pretty sizable damage when it clamps. About half HP for most characters. So, you can throw a trap, use a mine, and shoot your gun, and it's almost an insta-kill. When you throw the trap, it'll appear above the ground for you and your teammates. However, it will be almost completely hidden in the ground for enemies. So it's very easy to get caught off guard by a Junkrat trap. However, one negative is that the Junkrat trap can be shot and blown up by enemies. So you have to be careful. This, along with his high damage, makes Junkrat an excellent assassin. Especially up close and personal. With a push of the ultimate button, Junkrat unleashes his big machine, the Rip Tire. This is a tire that moves all on its own and races around, can be controlled by Junkrat. And when it goes off, it's a huge explosion that does insane damage to all enemies nearby. If you're right next to the Rip Tire whenever it's detonated, consider yourself dead. It's almost a guaranteed insta-kill. But what makes the Rip Tire so unique is that not only is it controlled by Junkrat himself, but you can also climb walls with it. Meaning you can get to high ground and then jump back down on an enemy, making it very difficult to predict in the hands of a good Junkrat player. Like the trap, however, you have to be careful, as the Rip Tire can be shot and broken. And it only has 100 HP, so it's a pretty flimsy target. Actually, that's a good question. Let's see. Is the tire enough to kill Hammerman? Yep. It instantly kills just about any tank. And just to prove it, here's Roadhog, who has the most health in the game out of any character at 800. It nearly insta-kills him, doing about 750 damage up close. So, he's the only one that can really fully survive it. But he's low enough that an easy combo can wipe him out too. Junkrat is a very good character for up-close, high-damage compositions. He can easily take out squishy targets and do a lot of damage to the big guys as well. And that leaves us off for the Australian Explosives Master. Now, let's take a look at our other character of the day, our second tank, D.Va. We took a look at Winston in the last episode, and D.Va is not too different. She's another character that got a significant glow up for Overwatch 2. Here's her original Overwatch 1 look. And the much glossier and refined look for Overwatch 2.
Time to save the
Now, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Junkrat is one of my personal least favorite characters in the game to play. I find his playstyle to be very mindless and boring. I like dealing high damage, but I like there to be a little bit of skill behind it. For most Junkrat players, it's just shoot randomly and big damage. D.Va is a little more up my alley, as for the first 3 or 4 years that I played Overwatch, I only played D.Va. She was the only character I ever played. Though I wasn't very good, so I never got her gold gun or anything, but I've played a lot of D.Va, so take what I say to heart. D.Va sits at 575 HP for a tank. Now, if you quickly look at the HP bar in the bottom left corner, you'll know that some of it is white, and the rest of it is kind of like a orange-gold color. That gold-colored health is armor. Exclusive to tanks, armor is like HP health, but it's a little bit stronger, and certain characters do more damage to armor than others. D.Va has a lot of armor with her big mech suit, compared to Winston, who doesn't have as much protection and has about half armor, half health.
Time to save the world? Game on!
D.Va also has 100 more HP than Winston. Winston, however, has a pretty low average health for being a tank, so that's not too much. Compared to Junkrat, D.Va is a much more difficult character, so I'm going to be going into a lot when it comes to D.Va, so pardon me. With D.Va's primary fire, she has dual shotguns.
It's a skill issue?
Thanks, D.Va. The difference with D.Va's shotguns, however, is that they have infinite ammo and can be shot constantly at any time with no reloading, no worry about dealing less damage, nothing. You can just shoot them as much as you want. Which is pretty strong when you think about it, right? However, as I said, they're shotguns, meaning, up close, they're lethal.
Fail!
But at medium to long range, it's not even really worth trying. Especially if you're, like, extra far away from a target. I mean, their health is, like, hardly even going down. Along with that, you'll notice the shotguns have a big burst. Those blue spots on the wall are everywhere the shotguns are hitting. So you're not really hitting as many bullets per shot far away as you would right up in an enemy's face. So, like Winston, D.Va is all about getting physical with her opponents and dealing high damage up close.
You're carrying
To help
here.
her do that, Winston's got the jump, and D.Va has Jet Mode, which gives her 2 seconds of free flight to move as much as she wants. And it's on a very short cooldown, as you can see. You can go up, left, right. You can go up, and then down, and then up. Whatever you want to do. Infinite possibilities with the jets, and they're almost always active for D.Va to get involved.
I'm on fire! What else is
Or
new?
to escape. And, as I've just showed off, you can even shoot while in jet mode, allowing you to do some kind of like fly-by killing. This can be very strong and make D.Va hard to stop, especially in somebody that knows the jet mode. With a push of right bumper, D.Va uses her micro missiles. These are basically a second form of her shotguns. Just a fast barrage of missiles that deal good damage up close, medium range, and at long range can even be a good secondary attack option.
Fact check! You're dead!
And as missiles, they're explosive, so of course they deal splash damage. Just really not that much. They don't do very much damage as a whole, actually, but the real thing is that you can combo them with her shotguns.
I'm on fire! What else
Shooting and using the micro missiles at the same time is the ideal way to melt through an enemy's health. If we go to Maga, another beefy tank, we saw a lot of in the last episode, look at how much HP gets eaten away by a combo of the shotguns and the micro missiles. All things considered, this is right up in his face with every bullet landing, but it's still about 3/4 of his HP. And even better, you can use the micro missiles in jet mode. Meaning that you can do all 3 of these abilities at the very same time. You can shoot, jet mode, and micro missile to get pitch perfect assassinations on targets that are at low health. D.Va is a monster at chasing down those kinds of flimsy targets, so you have to be careful if a D.Va's on the prowl on the enemy team. And you'll notice D.Va has the rare 3rd ability, which is Defense Matrix. This is a big shield that D.Va pulls up in front of her that is not like your normal shield. It runs on that bar you can see in the middle right side of the screen. As long as there's some white bar to fill, she can use the shield. But if you fully run out, the shield has a long time to recover. The difference between her shield is that it is only meant really to protect her. It's deployed right in front of her, and while she can use it to help protect teammates, it's a little bit more difficult, as it only sticks out right in front of her. It eats bullets, projectiles, everything like that. However, unlike your normal shield, it doesn't eat certain things. For example, Winston's lightning cannon will go straight through D.Va's defense matrix. And things such as Sigma's rock, which is just a big rock being thrown at your face, the shield isn't exactly going to eat that, because it's a pretty big bullet. The defense matrix is really good at keeping D.Va safe, but not as much other players. So D.Va is very commonly used in compositions where the other players can keep themselves alive. Finally, for her ultimate ability, you've heard me say, oh, there's a D.Va bomb a million times. And this is the reason why. D.Va's ultimate ability is self-destruct. Not unlike Riptire, D.Va's mech explodes into a huge blast that has a much bigger reach than the Riptire, dealing huge damage to anything even a little bit close to it. And after you use self-destruct, or after you take too much damage in the mech suit and your health reaches 0, you leave your mech and become Baby D.Va. Baby D.Va has the lowest HP of any character in the game with 175, so she's very, very fragile. However, to compensate, she is a very strong blaster. It actually works a lot like Mercy's blaster. Slow fire rate in compensation for very high, powerful damage. Another great way to use self-destruct is in combo with the jump jets, because you can simply just place self-destruct on the ground, it'll blow up, and get kills. But against another player that's actually moving, that's not really a very common technique. By the way, when you're out of your mech, you simply push the ultimate button again, and you call it back in and hop back in. The way to do it is by comboing it with jet mode. And using self-destruct during jet mode can allow you to do stuff like this. Launching the bomb at enemies. It's a much more unpredictable way to use the bomb, and can really throw enemies off guard when there's a huge mech suit explosion flying at their face. This even works if you fly up to high ground and use the jump jets to launch it down at enemies,
Nerf this.
letting it instantly hit the ground much quicker to deal more damage. But easily, the fan favorite way to use the jet mode with self-destruct is by launching it straight up in the air.
Nerf this.
This is because the bomb will still kill enemies on the ground despite being in the air. So you don't have to be anywhere near the Diva Bomb on the ground or in the air. There's almost nowhere safe from the self-destruct. The only way really to avoid it is by hiding behind a wall, because if you're anywhere near it, good luck. To give you a bit of a damage comparison, here's Roadhog once again. And if he's right next to the self-destruct, it's an instant kill, dealing over 800 damage. It is a very strong and punishing ultimate. However, the con, of course, is that it can be very predictable and easy to avoid. So you have to know the right situation to launch in your Diva Bomb. Finally, for one final tip, I showed you the mech fall, which allows you to get back in the mech. This also deals damage. If you call the mech in directly on top of an enemy, it's an instant kill. Not to everybody, of course. It does around 500 to 600 damage. So it'll insta-kill anything that's not a tank, like Mr. Piggy. This is not typically the way you want to use the mech call, because you want to be back in the mech as fast as possible, because you're much stronger there. But it is an option. And one point in time, the mech call used to deal about 1,000 damage, meaning it insta-killed anybody in the game. So people used to intentionally use the bomb, get kills with it, and then jump on top of somebody and call in their mech to kill them as well. Now you'll notice, if I leave my mech quickly, whenever I call in the mech, there is a long time for me to get in it. During that time, I'm completely vulnerable. So you have to really think about whether or not you want to use it for damage, or if you want to just get right back in. But typically, damage is not the route to go. Overall, Diva, like Winston, is a tank that is meant for diving in, dealing fast damage, and having an easy way to get out. So she works really well with other characters that are very fast-paced. Characters such as Genji, even Junkrat, who can launch himself in with his bombs and deal high damage to partner with Diva. And there we go. Diva and Junkrat are the two characters we're going to look at today for the character guides. We're about to get into some unranked matches using the two of them. But first, I want to do something that I didn't get to do in the last part, and that is showing off some skins. Wait, okay, they didn't load. Diva is a very popular character for skins, so she comes in with 21 skins, one of the largest amount of any tanks. As I mentioned with Mercy in the last episode, Diva falls under the same kind of category, being extremely popular and having a dedicated fan base. So she has all kinds of skins. For her epic skins, we have some cool recolors like Carbon Fiber, White Rabbit, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, and Midnight. And for her legendary skins, there's all sorts. For her basic skins, we have Biva, Black Cat, Junebug, Junker, and Scavenger. This one kind of being a Junkertown theme, so she looks a little bit like Junkrat, no? And along with that, she also has lots of other skins. Most notably, anniversary skins. Having 4 of them in total, the most of any character. So you know Diva likes to baby... Wait. So you know Blizzard likes to baby Diva whenever it comes to the anniversary event. She always gets a skin. Those being Academy, Cruiser, Varsity, and White Cat. I thought that you would like this one, considering it's called, well, I'll tell you now that I'm done sneezing. It's called Slaying. I think the joke kind of writes itself here. I actually think this is a pretty clever and cool looking skin. It's not one of my favorites for Diva, but I think you'll find it pretty funny. And when it comes to Junkrat, no, I wanted skins, no skins. He's on the same level, having 21 skins as well. Though in my opinion, Junkrat has a pretty great selection. A lot of Junkrat skins are simply him dressed up as ridiculous things. For example, here's a mobster Junkrat, which I've always thought kind of looks like what Junkrat would look like if he was like a Despicable Me villain, if that makes sense. Here's Circus Junkrat, which is exactly what it implies. Krampus, which is a really cool skin for Christmas. His other Christmas skin, Beach Rat, which is a Christmas skin because, of course, during the winter time, what else would Junkrat be doing than swimming? And he's even got some cool other ones, such as Junk Food, which people say looks a lot like King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph. I also think this skin is really ugly, personally, but, you know. Dr. Junkenstein. The Junk Bot. And even a cricket theme skin. My personal favorite, though, being King Jameson. And just look at that thing. You know how I am with the King theme, so this is perfectly fitting. All these kinds of skins for the characters also come with customizations of their abilities and things. For example, if we look at King Jameson, you'll notice the gun has a different look, this one being bedazzled and such. The detonator's got a new look. The mines are even bedazzled. The trap looks fundamentally the same on this one, but in some skins, okay, that one it looks a lot the same. This is not really helping me prove my point. The trap just kind of looks like the trap usually. But even the rip tire looks different. This one's really cool. It's like a bag full of things he's stolen. The Dr. Junkenstein rip tire is like this big electrical thing here. The hayseed one is like a big pile of hay. Pretty cool how they like to customize all the little intricate details. And with that, we're done with our teaching for the day. It's time to hop into some games. But first, I'm actually going to reset the stream and things quickly. I noticed in the practice range I was running into a little bit of lag. And I don't want to do that in-game because we'll make it a lot less fun. So, I'm going to quickly hit the reset button on my Wi-Fi. And, yeah, and then I'll be right back to it. So, stay tuned. I'm ending the stream, but I'm going to be starting streaming again in like 0.5 seconds. Not really, it'll be like 2 minutes. And then for the YouTube video, I'll just upload this as like Episode 2, Part 1, Episode 2, Part 2 will be the gameplay. Alright. Thanks for understanding. I'll be back shortly. Peace.